People, deluded, I'm back again. Brighton 2, Arsenal 1, and at this moment in time, you gotta laugh, people. You gotta laugh through the pain, man. You gotta laugh. Inside my soul is crying. Yeah, man, but you gotta find it funny at this moment in time, people. I can't lie, because, listen, I know I do this little review thing, but it feels like football hasn't gone. But it feels like every time I sit here, I don't know what to say to you guys. Like, you watch the game, or if you didn't watch the game, don't watch it. Because I have to put myself through the torture of watching it again, people. Don't watch it. So, Mazza, it sums up our season. It sums up why we've got 13 draws. It sums up why we've only got 3 away wins. It sums up, you know, why Leno is has faced the most shots on goal. You know, as on the topic of Leno as well, fingers crossed, everything, you know, crossed, praying that he's all well and safe. Because obviously it looks, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I don't know what going for his injury, but it does look like it's an ACL. It's one of them things, which with that carries a serious lengthy tariff of, you know, the good thing is, you know, there's enough time for him to, he's not going to miss too much football, but it's going to take the best part of 8 months to a year. Again, I'm not a physio, I'm not a doctor. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's bad, but not as bad as we thought. It is what it is. On the topic of Pepe as well, you know, he's ultimate villain. He scored the winning goal. You saw the scenes after the game. You know, he scored at the Emirates. You know, last 10 minutes he's got, apologies for the recent sun, but you know, last 10 minutes he's gonna have something to say. And what I will say, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a small guy, but I was a sort of player like that. There's no need to do that to Leno, but I don't think there was any intent to hurt Leno. He's doing what all strikers do, or what we all do at Power League. You know, even Lacazette, when he clamped Ryan, you do all of that stuff to the keeper. Was it a bit naughty? Of course, because, you know, Leno won the ball at this point and there was no need for it. I don't think there was any malicious intent with it, but at the same time, just because there was no intent doesn't make it right. Me questioning my own logic, people. But, you know, this game sums up why, you know, we've lost both times this week. And it goes back to the highlights of the Brentford game for me. The mentality isn't here. This sums up the game management of the team. You know, you went 1-0 up. You know, we should have scored before that as well. You've gone 1-0 up. Either manage the game and make sure you walk away with that 3 points and a clean sheet, or go and score a second. It looks like some players want to sit. Some players want to press. Some players don't know what the fuck is going on. Pardon my French, people. It's a mazzoline and we are in serious trouble. We already knew that, but serious trouble, people. It is what it is. Going into this game, you knew what to expect. You know, Brighton, to be fair to them, they went 2 up front, and I think when they started passing the ball around more, they gave us issues. But, you know, going into this game, on one hand, you could say we're not, you know, we're tired from playing midweek and Brighton haven't. On the other hand, you could say, based on what you saw even in the first half, we're a bit sharp, or looked a bit sharp, which makes losing worse. Then Brighton, having played obviously midweek before this game, we know we need 3 points. We know Brighton want the 3 points. We know Brighton are unbeaten in the last 5, prior to us losing today, last 4 games, now 5. That's not there without a reason. We know against Brighton, they've got players like Pepe. Fair enough, Moy got subbed at half time. You know, they've got players, they've got Proper, they've got players that can cause us problems. Tussart today, he might not have had the best of games, but Shoney's a baller, technically. The man, I always forget his name, but the man in the midfield, how he never got a yellow as well, I don't know, man. You don't know what I'm talking about, I forgot his name, man. Begins with a B, I can't remember, but you don't know the Brighton lad I'm talking about, in the engine room in midfield. We know what to expect because this has been happening against Brighton, you know, especially away from home. I can remember us losing, what was it, in our blue kits, in our navy blue kits. I can remember, was it last season or season before that, Glenn Murray as well. We know Brighton are no pushovers. We know there's a good physical height difference on us, and I think that's the one positive I'll take from today, is that Pepe scored a great goal, and you know, I felt we dealt well. Brighton had more corners than us, and that was something I was scared of because of the height difference. I think we did okay clearing our lines in that regards, but other than that, it was a madness. And like the first 5 minutes sums up the first half really and truly. You know, both teams had a lot of ring rust, where a lot of both players with a lot of rust and were rusty. 5-yard passes from both sets, more emphasis on my team. They're not going to the person. First touches are not quite there. It's either under-hit or over-hit passes. Just losing both teams, but focusing on Arsenal, losing the ball where you don't need to lose the ball. We did look like we had more of a spring in our step at a point than Brighton. I'm not gonna lie, we was making things happen. Obviously, a big talking point going into the game is obviously Bukayo Saka playing this hybrid 10/left centre mid role. You know, Ozil's on the bench, and there's other sort of talking points. But Saka's doing okay. We're doing all right. I think Kolasinac was decent as well in some regards, as whatever you could pin as decent, people. But yeah, first five for me summed up the game. Just lacking real creativity. Yeah, there were some incidences we were making things happen. Oba had a couple of shots. Bukayo Saka, the highlight of at that time, obviously was lovely shot with his right foot hitting the crossbar. At a point, I think Laka went close with a header, forcing a great save from Ryan. There was a couple of half chances, but if we're honest, we're not really putting together plays and really testing the keeper, because I was struggling to see where a goal was coming from in the first half. I don't really think we was doing enough in that regards, people. It is what it is. I did think we had to raise it. I didn't think it was the worst of halves from us. I did think we have to raise it. I have to highlight Lacazette and Aubameyang linked up, and it almost paid off. I think Pepe, while was a bit frustrating today, I think he had a decent game. I think he looked like an outlet down the right hand side, but you just think something more's got to give. In the first half as well, there were moments it became a bit open. It became a bit of a It did have pre-season vibes around it, and I think that kind of crept into the game. There was a lot of gaps opening up, but I just feel both teams really suffered from just not quite, one, just not being fit, and just secondly, just as a result of not being fit, just not having that sharpness on your first touch, sharpness of pass, because there was a lot of misplaced passes, and I don't think both managers would be happy as well. Obviously, our luck in true Arsenal fashion is just going from bad to worse. Obviously, with Leno now suffering a long-term injury, which we hope isn't the case. Did feel the ref as well. Some of these Brighton players should have been given yellows, like that man in the midfield. If he hasn't got a yellow, listen, from someone like me that likes the dark arts of the game and doing all that stuff myself, he's done a number. He's done a number, man. But other than that, neither team, I can't see how either team is really going to score, man, in the first half, really and truly. There's a couple of moments, but nothing of note. Second half, I felt Brighton looked a bit better, but I think Arsenal, there was a bit more spring in our step. I think Aubameyang in particular looked like he wanted it and things like that. But again, I just couldn't really see where the goal is coming from. Pepe looked decent. Again, like I said, frustrating at times, decent at others. And he gives us what we think is going to be, enough to kind of win this game. As much as you can think Arsenal away from home is going to walk away with a 1-0 lead. I believe Saka passes him the ball. And this is what you want to do from Pepe. You want him to find balance. Know when to beat him and know when to just shoot and that. He finds some space for himself. He shoots. It's a lovely goal. Ryan has no chance. I'm sure if Ryan looks back, he might think, why was I off my line to a degree? But it's a good goal for Pepe, and if nothing more comes of this game, just a little bit of confidence for Pepe, because regardless of if you feel he's frustrating, he's overrated, he's underrated, he's had a good season, he's not. If you made a 70-odd million move and your team in general wasn't playing well, and you're not playing well, and all these question marks are being asked of you, and he's 25 like myself, you're gonna feel some sort of way. It might play on you psychologically. So I like to see these moments. To be fair to Lacazette, I think his movement was okay, but I just didn't think he was looking too sharp out there. And if it wasn't gonna come from our left hand side with Saka and to a degree Kolasinac and more so Aubameyang, I couldn't really see it happening, people. We've taken the lead, and in true Arsenal fashion, we're switching off. And then, again, game management, we're 1-0 up, and it's another cheap goal away from home in the same week against City. Take nothing away from how City played, take nothing away from how Brighton played, but we are engineering our own problems as much so as them. They're exploiting our problems. We're not making them work for a goal and things like that. And this is the thing. Until we improve defensively, teams will always feel. Especially if you're 1-0 down against Arsenal, there's always a chance. And when you make it 1-1, most teams, if that's City or whatever, or Liverpool, Brighton probably would have calmed themselves down to a slight degree. They'd, oh, fuck me, mate, a point is good. They say, nah, this is Arsenal, come we get these 3 points. And they got it. But from an Arsenal perspective, how we've conceded that goal, for me, is a culmination of errors. I can't remember the Brighton lad, it might have been Tussar in the middle, he's not picked up. We're not concentrated from a quick corner, our overall defensive play within that box was shaky, and I know at the beginning I said I was actually convinced with our corners. What I should say by that is our aerial defensive corners, excluding this one because it was a short one that twanged us, people. They put the ball in the back of the net. I'm praying to God, I'm looking at the ref, I'm thinking, yo, come man, someone do something for us, offside or something. In the same way I thought Aubameyang's one was onside, fair enough, I'll give that one away. I'm always going to say that I'm an Arsenal fan, but I was thinking, come on, do something for us. And that one I'm like, man, not gonna lie, part of me felt, I didn't know where the goal was going to come from, but part of me felt there was another goal in this for Arsenal, or definitely both teams, and unfortunately it's for the other team. Again, dying embers of the game management, overall standards. I'd love someone to bring up a chart of how many goals we've conceded in the last 10 minutes, because there's today, there's that sloppy one on Wednesday. The one that sticks out for me of late was actually the Chelsea game at the Emirates, where we threw, they conceded 2, we've shot ourselves in the foot, and it's a good finish from Pepe as well, man. You know, the villain, he's done this at the Emirates, they've taken 6 points off us, and as much as we've been poor, you can't say nothing with Brighton, because they should be laughing. You know, they're going to go in that change room and say, you know what, we know it's not the Arsenal of Henry and Vieira, but they're 1-0 up, they had more preparation on us, their players are more star players than us, they've played, you know, we've had less time to prepare than them in the sense of actual match fitness, and we haven't been at our best, and we've come from behind and won 2-1 against them. They're going to be full of confidence, and that's going to probably spur them on to do other things. For Aubameyang, I feel sorry for him because he's still chasing, I believe, that 50th Premier League goal, whatever milestone it is. Saka, he looked decent in that sort of hybrid left centre mid 10, pulling out to the left sort of thing Arteta gave to him, and I'm keen to watch the game again to watch that one with a bit more of an eye. On the topic of Arteta, I'm always going to support Arteta, but I do think he's going to show times where he's got it wrong. I don't think he got it wrong with his starting lineup. Did have a bit of thing with the reluctance to make these subs happen quicker, because I think at a point, you know, I could be wrong, but I think it was either 0-0 or might have even been 1-0 to us. I'm seeing a double substitution from Brighton, and I felt we struggled with 2 up top really and truly from Brighton. Wanted to see a bit more urgency, and the subs, again, I'm not going to criticise Arteta, and nobody's playing in good form. If Ozil came, he wouldn't have done nothing, but I'm struggling to see. Like, I get it, Pepe's frustrating. Pepe probably would have been one to come off for one of the wingers, innit? And at that point, he scored and whatnot, or whatever. But I would have felt Pepe looks like more of a goal-scoring threat than Joe Willock. And I'm not targeting just Joe Willock. I get the emphasis in bringing on Joe. He's young, he's energetic, he's got an engine. You know, you need some of that in the dying embers of the game, especially against tired legs as well as our tired legs. I get it. I didn't have nothing with Tierney's one. There's nothing wrong with Tierney, but I didn't understand Saka coming off. I get it because he's played a ridiculous amount. I actually think he looked tired of City in the week, so I get it if Arteta felt the same way. But in the game, I couldn't understand it. The Lacazette and Eddie one, I'm not really fussed about that. I think Lacazette might have been able to stay on, but Trusay looked a bit stiff. Eddie was good last week, and Eddie did look a bit more sharp and a bit more mobile and agile than Lacazette. But I didn't understand some of the subs, man. With all due respect to Reece Nelson, I like him a lot. I didn't see how he was going to come and affect this game. So in addition to taking forever to make them subs, I don't feel they were the right ones, and I can only call it how I see it. I still think Arteta's the man, but this is what we're going to have to be prepared for, as well as everybody else. He's learning on the job. For Arsenal players, they've got to look close to home and say, you know, it's all fun and games saying you want to win, saying you back your manager, but you've got to look in the mirror now, because it's got to the point, there's no point being angry about this. Of course, it's upsetting to lose, but I wouldn't say I'm angry, people. I was angry at City. I'm not angry today, car. How can I get myself angry when you're doing things like this? And this is why, when, like, someone commented in one of my comments, someone was like, I'm overstating this, we can get top 4 with this squad if Arteta speaks to them right. No, he can't get it with this existing squad. If the season started again and Arteta had his season again with the exact man that have played a part in this season, he can't get it. Listen, shout out to Aubameyang and Saka. There's some players that could help him, but collectively we can't do it. And as Arsenal fans, you're shook now, because on top of just pride being hurt with every week that goes on, on top of not getting top 4, we've got some mad injuries. You know, we had Xhaka before this, Pablo Marie before this. Technically, Socrates is still out. You've got Chambers out as well. You got now Leno's gone. You know, regardless of what you feel about this, Xhaka is gone as well. Hopefully, he plays before the season's finished. One saving grace actually is that sad circumstances, the COVID break came in, because Torreira had the injury. Injuries have been a theme of ours, but at the same time, you've got this happens in games. You know, injuries are part of a season, setbacks are part of it, and how you deal with setbacks. I'm seeing us at 1-1, and players are not like players' heads are dropping. Players don't know what to do. You've got to be able to react to this, and we've got a lot of mental issues we need to eradicate out this side, and we obviously need better personnel people. Like, listen, we can't keep sitting here and saying, the injury played a part psychologically and things. It is what it is, people. We've lost where we deserve to lose today, but it's another cheap defeat, Them Brighton goals, were they avoidable? Every goal is avoidable, let me say that. Every goal is avoidable. There's always some analysis you can do, but real football people know what I mean when I say avoidable. Both Brighton goals, very avoidable. Every goal that City scored last fixture, avoidable. And for us, I wouldn't say it was a golden opportunity, because like I said today, I don't know if we can put any form together, considering you got the perfect result against Spurs and United, drawing last night. This was a chance to kind of pull closer to them, and this is what I mean by, are these players really understanding before the game for themselves the ramifications of winning, losing and drawing? Are they really setting their, tunnel vision with a goal, whether you hear it or not? I have to say they're not. And if they are, they just haven't got the mental capacity to do this. And I have to say we need to look at the mental things with these players, because you don't bring in players that can't handle things, can't handle setbacks, can't handle, because these things happen. And it's all fun and games when the pressure's not on, but it is what it is, people. There's really nothing more to say. We lost 2-1. We watched the 3 points go out of our hands. It's another defeat, We've got 3 or 4. We've only won 3 or 4 times away from home. We've got 13 draws. Leno's out for the rest of the season, I'd assume, but has faced the most shots. And what do these themes tell you? It shows you that we're feeble away from home, and there weren't even no fans there being the 12th man for Brighton. They even need that. It shows you we have issues mentally. It shows you we will not improve for this season, at least in terms of game management. It shows we're not able to display the consistency levels needed to sustain any sort of top 4 finish, any credible goal you want at the start of a season as a Premier League club. And we're here because of this now, and everybody needs to look in the mirror. Even Aubameyang and Saka, they've been quality this season, and I actually feel they have no part to play in any of this failure. But by the same logic, win, lose or draw, we're a 25-man squad. We're in this together. Everybody needs to do some soul searching, because I was hearing, we know what we need to do now. There's a new spirit. There's a new this. There's a new that. It's all gone out the window now. For about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, against United, against Chelsea, there was a little bit of, what Arteta was bringing into them, the pressing and all of these things. Where's it gone now? And I'm not blaming Arteta, I'm looking at these players. Because this is the same thing that happened under Emery. You was bred in Emery saying he's doing this, he's doing that, doing it for 30 minutes, 30 seconds, and then now what? This is what I'm talking about. Where's the game management? Where's the high pressing? Where's these things gone now? Obviously, within reason, we know the break and things like that, but I'm not seeing the intensity. I'm not looking at Arsenal. I'm not getting gassed from the intensity. It seems like we don't know what we're doing. We're just coasting. And if you're just coasting in life, it's dangerous. If you're just coasting in football, it's dangerous. So yeah, man, it is what it is, man. To lose that game as quick as we almost won it, it sucks, but it's typical in Arsenal fashion. And what actually worries me, not necessarily more than the result, but it's another game where we've lost a key player. And whether you believe in Leno or Xhaka, they're key members of Arteta's squad, so he's not able to use them. There's nothing to play for this season beyond the FA Cup. No disrespect to it. I would have bit your hand off yesterday for a day out at Wembley, because nothing more from this season. I definitely would now, but it makes our task there harder. And obviously, like I said, I'm never confident playing Brighton. And this is why, we've got to play Southampton at St Mary's midweek, and I'm never confident there. Hopefully we can get back to winning ways. But by then, who knows? Who knows? Look at the away wins tells it all, people. We don't know. We can't go there with any confidence. And considering Southampton, what they did yesterday, if they're looking, they should be looking at Brighton like, I'm not being funny, but if they can do that, we can do that. They should, teams should be like what has been the case for a couple of years. When you hear you're probably playing Liverpool and City, you're probably staying up all night. Your wife is probably trying to do look freaky, and you're not even on it because you're thinking them defenders are getting nightmares at Mane and Salah and all of these things. When you're playing Arsenal, you're gassed all week. Them Brighton man must have been gassed all week. They must have been watching the City game like, yeah, alright, cool. We're no Kevin De Bruyne, but we're gonna go and do this thing as well. And look. So Southampton should as well, and that should be the worrying thing if you're one of these players, and that should be one of the things that hurt you, is that people see you as, people don't rate you. It doesn't matter if you're a footballer, you're a postman, you're whatever, and everybody likes to feel valued. Football is worse. Nobody likes to play a football match where they think they can get at you. And this is going to happen until you lot take yourself seriously. Arteta can give you all the analysis, all the fancy speeches, do all of these things, but the players need to take it in their own hands. They need to take it in their own hands. And some of these players have played enough times for their country, enough times in the top league, fairly experienced players. And you're hiding behind young ones like Saka and things like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what conversation. I would love to know what conversations do these lot have week in, week out. Like, what real inquest do they need to have? I think these players need to link up without Arteta and have it out. Actually have it out and see where the season's gone right and wrong and have some accountability. We lost because we deserved to lose, Like I said, everything wasn't there, but I got nothing more to add, man. I'm just going to get out of here now, man. I'm not going to let this ruin my day, man. I'm going, is there more football on? Yeah, we can watch an actual neutral football game now. I don't even enjoy watching the club anymore. But, yeah, man, thank you for listening to this, people. DG, I'm out. Comment, like, subscribe, and do the rest.